A few years ago, I thought the answer to everything was to do more content, more projects, more offers. Instead, I got overwhelmed and then experienced burnout. The breakthrough came when I started doing less. So today, Steve and I are going to be sharing our thoughts, our experiences with burnout as coaches building businesses online. And hopefully, you'll walk away with some burnout busting. They'll give you burnout busting skills and some encouragement as well. So this is episode 2 of the Coaching Business Builders podcast.
Only yesterday we were doing our first episode.
Yeah.
We've come so far.
We're episode 2. We're the slowest going podcast ever,
Yep, slow
but
and steady wins the race.
yeah. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen right now. I like to do presentation style, and this is what I have. So, how to avoid burnout as a coach. You're doing all the things, and you want to know either you have experienced burnout, or you want to try to avoid experiencing burnout, or just overwhelm. So, what I have learned recently, today and or yesterday, in fact, is that 40% of small business owners report burnout. I feel like that's actually a low number. So I'm not sure where that number came from because I feel like it's got to be 80 or 90%. But P.S., before we continue, if you're really experiencing like true burnout, real burnout, seek a professional, seek someone. We are not professionals in this. Like, we do not have the experience to walk you through true burnout. But you know, we can help in any little way that we can. But we're just sharing our experiences in this on this workshop podcast. Um, so let's talk about the reasons burnout happens, because if we don't know the reasons there it's happening, we have no way of fixing it. So I'm going to go through a list and then I'm going to ask you at the end of my list. I have 7 reasons listed here. I'm going to ask you to add to this. So we're going to add to this list. So number one is doing everything yourself, doing too much, right? You have so many things that are stacking up and they keep stacking up because you're pretty unclear on what's working and what's not. So sometimes they just keep stacking up. You have lack of clear priorities. You're confused about what should be a priority, right? If you're, I know Angel can't say anything, but if Janet or Steve, if you feel like this is like truth to you, please put it in the comments because I'd love to see what your response to like the ones that hit you the most. Number 3 is no systems or processes. This causes spinning of the wheels, like you're just spinning your wheels. You feel like you're not gaining any traction, right? And then there's number 4, which is always producing and never recovering. There's no rest periods. This is a big one. I know it because I've experienced it. I know it because I've done it myself. Number 5 is inconsistent income pressure. So a lot of times we get burnout because we're working so hard, but the income is not matching the work, especially as solopreneurs. We're doing all the things. It's all on our responsibility. So the income must be coming. We're doing a lot for free, right? At first, when first starting. So that can cause burnout because you're not making enough money for the time you're investing, right? And then there's number 6, which is tying self-worth to your business results. This is a big one too, because I know I've experienced it. I've heard it over and over again from other coaches that you just end up focusing on the wrong things and you think that you are the reason you're not successful when it's just not true. It's not you. It's what you're doing that may be the problem, not you specifically. Um, and then there's isolation. This happens a lot. You start going inward. You do the tying your self-worth to your business. You start going inward and inward and inward, and you become isolated and you don't talk to anybody about it and you don't put yourself in rooms where people are actually breaking through these things for themselves, and you just keep going with that. And that is the true path to stalling out and burnout. That is the truth path. So if you don't want to do that, then don't do number seven. Always be in rooms with people who are learning, have a growth mindset, have goals that are similar to yours, or that have reached the goals that you want. So be in rooms with people ahead of you. So my question is, if you're able to chime in at this point, what what else? What else happens? Like, what are things that happen, reasons people burn out, or you burn out specifically?
So one of the things, these are probably, these all are tied to me, some a little
Hmm.
bit more than others, but one of the things that I can put into words is that, okay, if I say, okay, I need to prioritize something. So I am going to work on this. And here's how I'm going to do it. And then I'm stepping through some steps to take that. And then there is so much going on in schools and in the communities. Like even in your community, Mona, there are so many ways to skin the proverbial cat.
Hmm.
And so either getting derailed in that process or coming through that and being like, well, am I, should I really be focusing on this? Or like the income pressure, like, okay, I need to try a different angle. So I'm called away from that maybe priority prematurely because there might be a clearer path to a launch of some kind.
Hmm.
And it's so it's almost like you're in, I don't know how to describe it, but so many plates spinning in the air and
Hmm.
one affects the other and vice versa. So then it's easy to feel just overwhelmed
Hmm.
and like, okay, I need to take a break so I can refocus. And then where did I leave off and where do I start again?
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing right now.
Okay. That's really great. And that's a lot of people experience that. We're going to have more coaching at the end, but I do want to tell you that I totally understand where you're coming from. And it really is a matter of simplifying. And you just have to be proactive about that. So we will get to that. So if I don't remember, if I don't remember to bring that back up at the end, will you please remind me?
Okay.
So, okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate that. So, for me personally, farm life has taught me the most about business and life in general. So, as you can see, I used to have a homesteading, be into the homesteading niche, and this was, I did this for a few years. I have a podcast that's out there, and I would draw life lessons to teach about homesteading. Well, now I'm drawing life lessons about homesteading to teach about business, and it really always seems to match. And that's why you see a lot, like my brand is this outdoor life. Usually I'm wearing a floral t-shirt or something. That's all intentional, by the way. But what I've noticed is that things in regular in nature and in life, they always there's always a parallel. So Steve mentioned earlier that I like the tortoise and I like to use that. I'll bring that up in a little bit, but I just wanted to set the stage is that the home the way I perceive things, the position I'm taking is actually from something that's been around since the first of time, the start of time, which is nature and growth and how that works. So I just wanted to start with that. So these are some quotes. I'm going to share some quotes because they really hit home for me. Slow growth with energy beats fast growth with exhaustion. I really believe that sometimes we are not meant to grow fast. And if you don't take the time to set the foundation for your business, it will lead you to burnout. So instead, we take the position of growing slowly. And another thing I just mentioned about nature, nature doesn't hurry, yet everything is accomplished. I talk to the squad, my members in the cohort about this often. Like look at the oak tree that an oak tree. The seed is this small. Lots of growth happens underneath before it becomes, it starts to grow upward. And then it's this giant tree. So but it's not hurrying, but that tree is gigantic and can do some really big damage if it were to fall on my house or something like that, you know? So we need to just change our perspective about growth, and it'll do you so much good. This is one of my favorite quotes. I saw it on on Instagram long ago. His name is Andre de Shields, and I think the video I saw, he was presenting it like at an awards, and he said, slowly is the fastest way to get to where you want to be. And it really hit home for me, and it's kind of like the start of the ball rolling with this idea is that we, s slow growth is possibly the best growth. And that's what, that's what will keep the burnout at bay or keep you from focusing on the wrong things. So let's get slow and steady. Steady is the acronym I have. Burnout Busters, take inventory and action. So let's get steady. That means S is for systems. Create systems so that you know what you're doing. This is where, Janet, if you have a simple system and just repeat a simple system, you will see growth. Like it just happens. Time, you give yourself time boundaries. So in this case, I leverage time a lot. Like this podcast slash workshop slash YouTube video is a perfect example of time, of leveraging my time. It's also an example of energy management because instead of making three separate things, I'm making one. And then so I've consolidated my efforts into one. And then having Steve here is also a way that's protecting my energy because we're working off each other. We're helping each other in our communities. We're helping momentum. So this is really important. And then A is for alignment. Focus on what matters. That's another one that came out with thoughts when you were talking about your struggles, Janet, is the alignment. Get super clear on your mission. This has to do with your customer journey. I think your biggest problem is you don't know who you're serving because that is like usually what it comes down to. As soon as we know exactly the person that we are serving and that exactly our ideal client, we get super laser focused on that person and their needs. And then we start listening to them. And then if we're smart, we start signaling to them, right? So, so alignment and then delegation or delete. You don't have to do everything. That's the thing. Like you said, there's so many different ways. They all work. Honestly, that's what I tell people. Like every single one of those works. Besides you don't want to do things that are are unethical. But all of the business ideas out there work. So part of it is alignment. You got to figure out which one will work for you and which one you prefer. But if you pull out a lot of the fluff and a lot of the things, they all come down to three things, which is you have to have traffic. You have to have somewhere that people are gathering. So it could be an email list, but community is the best way. You have to have somewhere where you can contain the people that you're reaching out to, but you got to have traffic to get them there. And you got to have some sort of income plan. Like you got to know what you are trying to sell at the end of the day. So those are the three things that every business needs is those three things. So take some stuff out and just get down to the bare bones and then start adding on top of your on top of it. Like then start saying what method is align do I align with best? So there's two. I'm going to pause really quick here to tell you that there's basically two ways. There is the low ticket, large volume method, and then there is the high ticket, really small volume. Like you don't need a lot of people to sustain your business if you have high ticket. You need a lot of people to sustain your business if you have low ticket. Neither is right, neither is wrong. Just you have to decide what model you prefer. Okay. So, and then why your recovery? This is where I learn the most about nature. Every year at winter, the trees go dormant. The animals, some animals hibernate. Every system pretty much out there has some sort of rest period. So add that to your to-do list. Put that in your to-do list. Like if you're going to take a nap, because after a nap, which I did, I actually took a nap right before this. If you're going to take a nap, if you can have a nap, you put that on your to-do list. Like that is a priority. Whatever rest thing that you have, whatever thing that energizes you, whether it's talking to your friends or your family, or whether it's just quiet time, add that to your calendar, add that to your to-do list for the day, and then you will see that there alone, right after you rest, right after you do the thing that you love, you'll have so much freed mental space and energy to do that, to do the next thing, which is your business. So that's that. There's a steady. So remember steady when you are when you are going throughout your day or planning. And then we have my little tortoise. This is a drawing, and you can't see this if you're listening to this, but you can go to the YouTube channel and watch it. But I have a Claude actually made this for me. I didn't. I just told it what I wanted, and it's just the funniest thing to tell an AI that you want a picture of a drawing of a tortoise walking up a hill with a mullet. That was the hardest part. I had to tell him what the mullet looked like. Anyway, remember this anytime you're going throughout your day and you're like, remember Mr. Mullet Tortoise, which is the mascot of my community Next Level Growth Hub. Remember him because he is slow and steady, just like the story we talk about. Steady is his steady. He does thing in a steady way and not, erratic. He's just going. But he has a mullet, and that means that there's, the business up front, party in the back. Although I don't know if that's a business look or not for anybody with the three strands of hair. Anyway, so that's just something I want to remind you of. So the steady framework gives me freedom in my business to support my life, so that I can have slow mornings, so I can cook dinner for my family in the evenings. I have long talks with my adult children, which is a beautiful thing. Anytime my daughter we have one living at home still, but we still have others that I talk on the phone with. Is she comes up, and I feel like because I have a steady framework, I'm able to just take that time to have conversations in the middle of a business day, So, and not everybody has that freedom because of other things, and that, it's just make it look like something for you that is that gives you life, if that makes sense. I have flexibility to watch my grandkids, and I have movie nights with my hubby. Like those are just the things that why I pursue a steady framework. And then lastly, in order to learn anything, you have to have repetition. You have to repeat. Steve tells us we have to repeat doing our videos and speaking on camera. We got to repeat it over and over again before we get good. Have you ever noticed about, something that's hard, something that's easy for you and hard for someone else, and you get to the point where you're like, why is it hard for them? I don't understand why it's hard for them. Because you did the repetitions to make it easy, because you can do one thing with one hand and another thing with another hand, where somebody just starting out is having to really focus all their attention on the one thing at a time. So get to the point of repetition and just keep doing it. And the steady framework is the same way. Anything that you learn should be that way. So this is the point where if you're listening to the podcast or watching on YouTube, please subscribe or follow this channel or this podcast. Join our community. Steve has a community called Authority Cam, and I have a community called Next Level Growth Hub. And those links will be in the description of the podcast or the channel. Let me see if I have anything else. Oh, that's just I used to suffer from burnout, and I'm just going to share this quick thing before I move on. Burnout came to me all the time. And this is young me with my kids. I don't know how old I was here, but I was probably 30 something here. Anyway, young Mona suffered from burnout a lot. But through these years, I struggled. I learned something about growth that few people talk about. Sometimes you're just not ready for certain types of growth. And that's why growth stalls and burnout follows close behind. So slowing down is fine.
Very net. Yeah, let's just stop and appreciate everything that Mona put together and put way more effort into this than I did. So
It's okay.
I
It's
have,
really not though. I
yeah.
did this really quickly, like you do
Well,
write
that
down and
and that is your so if you work with Mona, you find out very quickly that she is an implementer. She 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 grabs an idea of like just something you'll just, hey Crystal, welcome to the show. So we'll just be talking and suddenly she'll just like, oh, we're gonna make a thing. I'm like, what? And like 20 minutes later, she's got the thing. I'm like,
yeah, I talked you into the
do that.
podcast like in 5 seconds. Like I,
Yeah, like we're gonna
right?
do like that's good. But this is a key lesson. I learned this from IRL too. And angels come out to some of our meetings. So we have school meetings in real life, and the first one we had was Goose hosted it, and so I got to meet like my core group now. Like at the time, they were strangers in the room, and one of them was Demetra, who teaches Greek through cooking Greek food. And I said, we met, we talked for all of 5 minutes, and then I texted her like a couple days later. I'm like, hey, Demetra, how about I come to your house and we film a cooking show? She's like, that sounds amazing. And that's typically those kind of conversations, that's as far as it goes. It's like, okay, I didn't wait. I said, all right, I'm free next Wednesday. Are you game? And she said, yes. And the next, like 2 days later, I'm in her kitchen and we're cooking. Like,
That's awesome.
just run with it and implement. So that was a bonus thing that just sparked
Yeah.
my brain.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's awesome.
yeah. So for my tips, again, I don't have slides for any of these. They are going to be fairly school centric, so you can kind of translate these. If you don't have a school business yet, translate to this business. Also, what the heck are you waiting for? It's $9 a month. Go get your school running. It's a no-brainer. It's an absolute, like, it's so perfect for hosting your courses, for building that community, for everything, and for connecting. So this is school has connected us all right here, and so I'm pretty passionate about that. But it can also be a grind, as Janet alluded to earlier, as you can get shiny object syndrome. You can be a part of all these amazing communities, but then you feel really stretched thin trying to communicate in all of them and learn from all of them and connect to all these amazing people and then run your own community on top of it. And I think that's where a lot of us OGs who've been in it for roughly a year now have kind of been hitting the wall. And I just remember me and Krista. Krista's in my group. She's part of the Chicago group too. And we were both kind of in the same place where it's like, this is cool, this is awesome, but holy crap, I'm tired. I'm a little fried at this point. So this is kind of geared around that feeling if you're going through that at all. And again, I do think this is, sorry, I'm being attacked by Cuddle Cat. This is the only time she wants petting is when I'm on Zoom. Um, this feeling is pretty normal. If you're going through this, I just want you to stress that more than anything. And so I'm going to talk about this in three buckets of ways to tackle these feelings. They're going to be small efforts, medium efforts, and then big efforts. And we'll go through this pretty quick. The small efforts are kind of common sense, and Mona's already touched on this. Is number one, just get outside. Just literally go out and get in touch with nature. As cheesy and cliche as that sounds, we are hardwired to be outside. Our ancestors were inside maybe 5% of the day. Like we are this is not normal for the human brain to be inside all the time. We need to be somewhere green, and even in the winter, like just that fresh air is energizing. Get out and start moving the body. Like even Tony Robbins talks about like kinesiology, like when the brain's not working, use the body. So it's key. And so like I walk by the lake. That's my happy place. Like if you're somewhere like I've been to every city in the world. There's at least some tiny spot. Even New York City's got their little patches where it's green. Get out where it's green and go from there. Let's see. So next, again, with school, you've got all these people telling you what to do, which can be amazing too. But I found it's really energizing to take one day and literally just work on what you want to work on and do the things you want to do. So I call this a me day. I know if you've got family or kids, this is going to be a lot harder to pull off, but find a way to have a me day where you just work on the things you want to work on. You just do the fun things you want to do, and it's literally just you. It's just you literally just take a whole day and put yourself first. And this is literally what got me out of my last slump that I was in. Like, I just felt like I was getting pulled in every direction, and I just like stop the noise. Like, I'm just gonna focus on me for one day, and that helped quite a bit. The last small effort thing is to create a vision board on your phone. This is fun and it's super easy. So I want you to go to the internet, collect like 6 or 7 images of just what you want your life to look like, and then look at it every day. So if and this is, again, as woo-woo as this is, I swear to God, it works. So yeah, there's kind of see my, oh, you can't see the images, but maybe like, yeah, you can't really see it. Probably for the best. Uh, so there's a lot of beaches and ladies more than anything, but it's the bottom line though is like it does program your brain to start steering you in that direction. And I have proof. Like I've got a picture on here of um, this balcony overlooking the ocean. And a year after I put that on my vision board, I got a free credit in my Delta Airlines to fly wherever I wanted. And so I just randomly booked a flight to Daytona and I got a hotel right on the beach and I took a picture and you put the two pictures side to side and they look identical. And I didn't plan on that. It literally just happened. So I highly, highly recommend the vision board. That's it. So that's short stuff that you could do. You could implement any of that stuff today. Now we're moving on to medium stuff that's going to take a little bit more effort. So this one I did just a couple days ago. This does require connecting with some other business folks in your area. For me, it's very easy to do because I live in Chicago. And I met a lot of my community members through the Chicago IRL. But I say host a mini mastermind. I host larger IRL events. They are a pain in the butt to put together. They take a lot of effort, but just bringing in like 2 other people is very easy. And so we had a mini mastermind right here at the house. This is my mom and sister's house right here. And it was a mini mastermind between Krista, me, and my sister. And we just jammed. We just brainstormed for like 4 hours, and some really ridiculous ideas came out of that. Stay tuned for School Wars coming up later this summer. So just all sorts of fun stuff, but it's just you get a different perspective, and it's just and especially when you just say, you know, we're like there's no bad ideas, let's just roll with it, and you get a lot of cool stuff coming out of that, and it freshens things up so you can approach things in a new way. 2 would be to hire a coach. So that's what when Mona had an offer, I jumped on it, and we've been thick as thieves ever since. So it really does help to, especially when we were talking about, and Janet mentioned this earlier, where we just feel like we're so overwhelmed and we don't know what direction to go. Hire someone who already knows like I'm great at getting on camera and doing this kind of thing. I suck at systems. I am not. That is not my jam. So I need to like find out where you're weak. Find that person who's strong that can help you fill that gap, and that's what Mona's done for me. And so I highly recommend go seek out that coach that actually has it, and drop some money on it. Like there's a lot of free stuff in school, and that's amazing. But I'll tell you that the most that I've advanced has come through paid coaching. It really has, because it's a whole nother level, and the communities that you're in are a whole different quality of people that you're dealing with because they're all invested in their business. Revamp your school group. So this is, I kind of went through a round of this with the new growth boost that went, and we're all scrambling to redo our banner images and our about page and all that. But I was due for that. And when you just feel like you're not feeling good about what your offer or anything like this, just go back and freshen it. Just give it a facelift and do that. And it's remarkable for just your sense of inner peace when you do that and you feel good about it and like, yes, this is my thing. When you've got that nice image and you've got an about page that really communicates what it is that you do, you just feel better about yourself and your business and your offer. And then kind of on that note would be to tackle that classroom. Add a course to your classroom. Just create a new offer. Just a new offer, a new course, just a new thing. Something that you can get excited about. It brings a little bit more energy to your group, and it's that new thing that like it's not just business as usual. Like I've got this new offer. Mona's really good at this. She's always got some new thing popping up, and it's something for you and your group to get excited about. So that's medium efforts right there. Now it's time to move on to the big stuff. Number one would be to host an actual in real life event. Again, these take work, they take connections, but they can be absolutely game changing. We had an event at Demetrius called Film and Feast. We've done this a couple times, but the first time we had a whole group go to her house. Yeah, Angel was there. It was amazing. And then I gave basically my video sales letter workshop to everyone in the group, and then we literally filmed everyone. Everyone got a VSL out of it, and then Demetra cooked us this amazing dinner. We showed up as strangers. We left as family. It was awesome. It was just the most rewarding experience. And so put something in that. If you're in a tiny area, this is going to be harder. Find the next biggest city to get to. And whatever you got to do, but whatever area, and I guarantee there's other people that are trying to start a business. And so you just need to connect with them and just say, hey, I'm hosting this event. Find a local library, a coffee shop, wherever it is that you got, and just get together and talk. Face-to-face human connection. As we move into this scary world of AI that is going to really wipe out a lot of the stuff that we do, let's be real. The one thing that it cannot replace is face-to-face contact. And the more we can get face-to-face, the more we're going to feel good about life, and the more we're going to grow, and we're going to leverage that and move forward. So get off the laptop and get into the real world and start connecting with these people. If you can't host one yet, start going to them. Like find those events and start going there and interacting. If you're an introvert, like all of us, like find that social person to be a good wing person, and you kind of hang in the back and they introduce you to people. That's a great, that could be a whole separate talk in itself, but get out in the real world. Create a workshop. So this has been huge for me, to have a really interactive workshop that I can take to other school groups and give that workshop. And it's such a win-win. It creates content for that school owner. It introduces you to new people that will almost always join your group. And if you can make it really interactive, they're going to be far more likely to be active in your group as a result. So start building out. Just think of something simple that you can do in an hour, and you can do that to other school groups. You can do it in your own group as well, but it's the real benefit is doing it in other communities, because then it's a win-win for everyone. You can also give that host a link to your group, so they can get an affiliate code. So that way, if they do sign up for your community, they do get a cut. So it's just a win-win across the board for everyone. That's been huge. Pivot. Here's the hardest one. This is like if you've been at it for a while and you're just going nowhere, and in your gut you know that you're not doing you're not doing the thing that you want to be doing, or you're just not doing something that works. It might be time to pull the trigger on just shutting down that old group and starting over with something new. And this is terrifying, but if it's in your gut that you need to do this, then the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. Listen to your gut. And I went through this. So when I started school, my first group was called Adventure University. And it was going to be, because I love an active lifestyle and I do all these cool things. I go paddleboarding, rollerblading, and hot air balloons, and all these adventures. And I just wanted to build a group about that. And quickly realized within a couple months that I had no way to teach other people how to get to where I'm at to do this. Like my job is bananas. It took me 10 years to get to where I'm at, to where companies are paying me to go all over the country. I'm literally leaving for Minneapolis in 2 hours to live in Minneapolis for a weekend and do that kind of thing. And I'll eat the Juicy Lucy burgers and go to Hell's Kitchen. I'll like every city's home to me now. I can't teach that. Like it was such a weird winding road to get to where I am. And plus the people that I do know that live that same kind of lifestyle were not on school. I brought them into the group, but they weren't integrated into the platform. And so they wouldn't post. Just the group was just going nowhere. And just like it was crickets. I was the only one posting in the group, which is really soul crushing when you're the only one talking in your group and there's zero interaction. And meanwhile, I was getting more interaction in the schoolers community where I was commenting and engaging and talking and answering people's questions. Because I had been a business consultant before. During COVID, I became a business consultant. I started off as a videographer. Crystal knows this journey pretty well. You break out the camera and you try to just sell commercials, and what you quickly realize is that you're not a videographer. You're a consultant. You're really trying to just create ROI for that client. And after a long time of just editing till midnight and getting really frustrated, actually, I hired a coach who said, Steve, you need to be a consultant. And so I shifted my whole focus. I learned how to become a consultant, learned how to help people without even touching my camera. Like every video we did was on Zoom. And I get my clients really just phenomenal results with that. So, but then COVID ended, I went back on the road and I was just traveling and all that. And all that business knowledge was still in my head. And I started dumping that into the school community and people were like, wow, this is amazing. And then I had that light bulb moment, like maybe I should run a school group about that instead of paddleboarding and skydiving and all this other stuff. And so I literally hit the delete button. It's terrifying. Like when you when you literally X out the name of the community, you type in a new name, it's so scary. But I'll tell you what, it was so invigorating at the same time, because when that new Authority Cam banner was up, and it was pretty rough at the time, it was just a new thing entirely. And it's like, and I knew I could package an offer around it. I knew I could charge money for it. And it felt so good. And then it took off like a rocket. And I went from like 15 members up to I'm pushing 300 right now. So all because of that shift, that pulling the trigger. It's scary, but it's definitely worth it. So I believe that's all I've got. Oh, one last thing I did that's not on my list that I did want to talk about. So this is kind of small to medium effort. One thing you can do, and this is I can't take credit for this, is straight from Alex Hormozy, who said, when you're not sure what to work on next, build capacity. And I've found this to be true. I'm kind of in this phase right now too as well. Basically that just means add to your toolkit. Like the more skills that we have, like Mona is crushing it with Claude right now. Like I guarantee you a year ago, she was not banging out Claude assets the way she is right now. This is a new toolkit. And she wasn't even, the thought of charging money to make a website was not even on her radar. And she ended up selling a website to one of my clients. So build capacity, find those new tools. Like if you got free time right now, now's the time to start adding those assets, those skills into your bag of tools. So you're going to be that much more capable of putting something together that you can sell when you get back, and when you have that thing, finally, if it crystallizes, you're going to have a lot more ammunition to go with that. That's it. That's all I got. So we're going to open up the floor now. Any questions, comments, things you want to work on? We've got a good 10 minutes left. So
I really enjoyed that what you shared. The the facelift part. What was that about again? I wrote down as a note, like facelift, and I don't remember
give your
what you were
school a
talking about.
facelift. So that's everything.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's your banner image, that's your personal
right.
profile image, that's your about page copy, that's your
Mhm.
your everything. Just revamp it all. Just take a day and like It's not bad like once a month. You could just go back and revisit all that stuff and see what's doing. Growth Boost really forced us all to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I know Crystal just did this where, because I did a post in my, it was one of the most engaging posts I ever did, where we're all struggling. And I think she really had a light bulb moment after we had our live call. Like, oh wait, we need to tie this. We need to tie school to my business, but you got to do it on a thumbnail. Which Mona, you're really good at this. Just how do we sum up in 3 words what our group does?
Mm-hmm.
Which was super helpful for me. Like, and it's to the fact where I can now sum up my group in 3 emojis. Like, not every group can do that, but I can now.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal could probably steal this basically. So it's camera, magnet, money bag. Like, so you fill it, you position as authority, that you attract paying clients, and then you scale those with the authority that you've built. So that really helped me. I could not put that into words until this most recent revamp. So it's going to take iterations. You're not going to get this right. You're going to go months and months, and then have that light bulb moment. Be like, oh, okay, that's what I was trying to do, and then do that again.
Yeah. So Angel has her hand raised. I'm going to
Angel,
click on it.
Hey, hey. So the last thing you said about building and creating capacity, that's where I am.
yeah,
Mm.
And honestly, I felt stagnant for a while because I just didn't know like where I wanted to plant my feet. And so once I realized it was actually teaching crochet, I'm like, okay, bet. So I actually landed an opportunity to teach for the Chicago Crochet Club, which I'm uber duper freaking excited about.
nice.
Nice.
That's freaking awesome.
Thank you. So I'm creating capacity in that way. Just finding more opportunities to teach as I am building community. So
Yeah. And that's something I'm going through the same thing. I think this is important because I think we do get kind of tunnel vision when we're on school. Like this is the only way, and like this is just it's just
Mhm.
school, and it's driving traffic from the social media and the ads to my school, and that's it. And again, we forget that there's a whole world out there,
Yeah.
especially for Angel Crystal and I in the Chicago area. There's literally a million people living here that we could be talking to right now in the real world. So please do not forget that you live on planet Earth and that there are opportunities outside of your laptop.
Yeah, it's a small town syndrome thing that I talked about on
Exactly.
a post where we kind of create these small towns or we enter these small towns, which in this case would be school. And then we think, and then we just like get so immersed and then we forget there's a whole big world out there, people
Yep.
doing business all different types of ways, and we don't need to just be focused on school. And that was Janet, your struggle was not knowing like there's so many different ways and people out there doing different things. Is it that you are focused too much on maybe those other communities, or what do you think is the reason that you're struggling with that?
First of all, I loved everything both of y'all said. It's been really, really wonderful to be in here, and a lot of it I'm going to have to process and unpack because you're hitting the nail on the head over and over again. So thank you for that. Two things kind of rise to the top with what I feel like is going on. One of them, years ago, I had to dial in my system. Okay, I'm going to teach a class in the library or get a, grant to teach a class to get them to the library, or I'm going to advertise for a class in the gallery that I teach at. And that has its own thing. You come up with a sample, well, it's different between grant teaching and the other, but they both have their own system. So you do that. But those are one-offs, right? That's literally trading time for dollars, which we know is eventually a dead end. So, but it's fun and it builds relationship and it's given me stories and great experiences. Um, but how, like translating that, finding a system that works in my school for people of varying interest levels, various needs, various experience and availability coming to find my group. How do I meet them and take them all on a particular journey that is also repeatable and monetizable. But then I think in talking about the facelift and the growth I feel like there's a hiccup. In real life, I teach watercolor lessons. So if you want to learn about watercolor, you come to me. It's very straightforward. On school, my tagline on my about page is rediscover joy through watercolor because I wanted to um, middle-aged or I don't say old women, but middle-aged women who are maybe empty nesting, who are in divorce recovery, who are, what do I do now? My kids are grown, they don't need me. And there's like a shoot, now what? Using watercolor as a tool to rediscover joy, which is another fabulous angle because there's an emotional great need, especially in our world today for that. But it might confuse people, rediscover joy. Well, I'm happy. I want to know watercolor, but I'm happy. What?
Mhm.
So there might be some kind of disconnect even in my messaging. I'm wondering if I should go back to learn watercolor.
Mhm.
It takes away that let them discover the joy on their own. But I like the idea, and people have said that's a good angle,
Mhm.
but maybe it's only me that's confused. But I feel like there's probably some messaging confusion in who I'm targeting. Like
Yeah.
you said.
So, like you said, you've discovered what the problem and the solution all in that and all of that because what people want is to learn watercolor. What people need is to rediscover the joy that they lost because or like the now what. That's the difference. Like you give people what they want and you deliver what they need, and what they want. Of course, you're teaching watercolor, but there's so many other layers. Another thing you just described a person, but I don't feel like your messaging is talking about that, talking to that person at all. In your copy and everything on your about page, it's more general. So
Yes.
and I'm not saying you have to target only women, but if you want to target this certain person, you have to start speaking their language and you just said a couple of those things like now what? Like now what do I do? I'm in that same stage as like I'm not an empty nester, but I'm almost an empty nester. I have more time. Another thing that you had talked about when I joined your community was giving people downtime. So we're talking about a slow and steady way of living. Well, you just through your community can serve the people that need that your time, your the why at the end of steady. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
You can help them to take a break. Because that one time that I did, I haven't gone into your community very much, but lately, but that one time that I did that, I came to you right after a heavy call. Like it felt, like I just needed some downtime. And it just worked out timing wise where I came into your community and you were painting and it was just us. We were just talking and it felt so good after I felt refreshed.
Yes.
And so if you can just communicate to that people, you can find those people that just need that and like you're the one that's there for that type of person.
I need to look at my messaging because that you're hitting, if I'm confused, I know that my people are confused
Hmm.
about who am I targeting?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also would say go outside of school to find some of those people as well. School is nice. It's a great network. I love it, but like that small town thinking, we kind of get like,
Yeah.
and then the whole like everybody's in everybody's communities and everybody's overwhelmed by everybody's communities. Well, people coming outside of school aren't feeling that,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
um but yeah, and targeting someone on LinkedIn even like LinkedIn might be a really great place for you. Sorry, my dog is barking. But LinkedIn might be a really great place for you because that's where the professional women of this age that you're talking about are there, and you need to communicate. They need downtime in
Yeah.
order to sustain their business. They need downtime. Why not learn a new skill at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that it become like you said, they come for the watercolor, they leave with refreshment.
Mm-hmm.
I see it all the time. And it's what keeps me going because I'm like, I just watched that person turn their day around in
Mm-hmm.
real time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank
These
you.
are clarity is one of those things that bring, if you're not clear on what you're doing, that's what a lot of times brings frustration, overwhelm, and burnout. You just need to be more clear on what you're doing. And the best way to do that is to find is to be very clear on who your ideal client is. And I don't mean like you have to be super specific in knowing everything that they do, but the type of person. I have an exercise with my growth cohort community. I mean, what do we call it? The squad. I call
Growth
my
Squad.
yeah, next level growth cohort that Steve is in. We are the squad. And we have an activity that we did recently where you list out all the things you don't want, who your ideal client isn't. And by listing out who your ideal client isn't, you get a lot more clear on who you want. So it'd be like my ideal client is not someone who doesn't see the importance of downtime and taking breaks. That's that's not your ideal client. They need to be at the point where they understand this, they need downtime from their business and they need to take breaks. So that sort of thing. I have a whole list of my own, but it's a good exercise to do if you're kind of confused on who you do want. Find out who you don't want. Write
Okay.
out who you don't want. And not saying that those are bad people or anything. It's just like who's not your ideal client.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
If I could piggyback on that real quick too, as far as like picking a specific niche or a specific person to talk to, and I get resistance from this. I've had resistance on this. It's like, oh, now I'm stuck only talking to this one type of person. What about all the other people? Like one that shiny object syndrome kicks back in. But the other thing to keep in mind, like if let's say you do pick like retiree women, six, whatever the demographic is, and that group, you're not married to that group. Like, let's just take the next 10 to 15 clients that you go after and just do that and see how it goes. And then evaluate and see, is this really the person? Oh, maybe not. Maybe I want to talk to this person. But you have to pick a lane initially because otherwise you're not going to have anything. Like when you speak to the masses, you go nowhere. So just like Mona said, just find that like it's so much, especially for like what I coach, like video, like who is on the other side of that camera watching? Like I have to have a visual, otherwise it's just a blank face, and that's scary. That's a psycho character from a horror movie. Like they have no eyeballs. Like we
Right.
got to pick a face, pick a like just imagine you're having that conversation. Who's on the other side of that, and go from there.
Okay.
But you're not, you can change, like everything we do is an experiment. Like there's
Mhm.
no rules to any of that. I tell this story, but Jeff Lopez, who makes 100K a month on school, and he pulled me over. He said, Steve, we're making this up as we go. Like we have no clue. Everything we do is an experiment, so we just got to try it.
Yeah. That's wise.
Anybody else have any thoughts or questions or anything? Because we're coming up on our hour, but we can stay for a few more minutes.
Couple minutes.
I think that means we're done.
We're wrapping
Thank
up.
thank you so much.
Thank you all
You're
for coming.
welcome. Yeah. Thank you for coming. So next month we're trying to do these monthly, so we'll be back next month on a new topic. If you want to, on the posts that if you're in either of our community, and I forgot to put our links, but I guess you can figure that out. But um, on the posts that we did, if you have any suggestions for topics for the next workshop, please put that somewhere on either of our communities or DM us because we're here to help you guys, and you helping us come up with the topics would be great.
Help us help you.
Help us help you. Yeah.
All right, very cool. All right, I'm shutting this down in 2 seconds. But thank you
Okay.
again,
Thank
everyone.
you.
And we will post the link to this recording so you can see it. That'll take a little bit, but we'll get it up as soon as we can.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
see y'all.
Bye-bye.